I saw a fun thread on Lobsters about alternative cell phones, and I will show you some of the ones that were mentioned. They're quite fun, I think. So it's all started here on Lobsters. There was some post here to a blog post about disappointing phones, and if we look at that, he writes that he has an OnePlus 5T phone running Lineage OS, but it's getting a bit too old because 3G where he lives will be discontinued, and calling will be a bit difficult on his phone, so he needs to upgrade. And he mentions some alternatives. If you go to the bottom, like Apple, Asus Zenfone, Xiaomi 15, Samsung S24 or 25. I don't think these alternatives sound that fun, but here in the comments, there was one guy here who wrote, I want to chill a bit for phones aimed at construction workers. Since I discovered this was a thing, I have completely abandoned phones aimed at office workers. Check this out. Screen is nearly impossible to crack. They can be submerged in water like no big deal. They often have weeks of battery life. Actual 3.5mm audio jack is standard. FM radio. Sick pinky gains from holding the thing. Drawbacks are my current phone weighs about half a kilo. The camera is kinda potato tier. People sometimes ask you why you have a huge phone. You look like you are compensating for something. And then somebody asks, what's the name of your phone and the model? And he writes, currently an 𝗟𝗡𝗏 Armor 27T, but used to roll with a cat before this one. It really cannot be overstated how heavy the 27T is. Nothing I would want to spend all day scrolling on, that's for sure. And maybe that's a good thing that you don't want to hold and scroll it because it's so heavy, like a brick. And then when looking at that, here is the cat phone, and I thought it looked kind of funny. So they have both like regular smartphones and they have flip phones, and I think this with the flip phone looks kind of funny. But I looked at some review of it, and the screen is a bit too small, it seems like, for many applications. So like when you're supposed to type something and it displays like the keyboard on the screen, or when it tries to fit multiple things, then it doesn't really show. So it seems like people are kind of complaining that when you type, you don't really see what you're typing into for some reason. Like you have your keyboard here as well, the T9 keyboard. So I guess that's an alternative, but it seemed a little bit difficult to use this one. And then he also mentioned this Armor 27T from 𝗟𝗡𝗏, and it looks like a regular smartphone, but as he said, it weighs like a brick and is water resistant and can be dropped in the floor without breaking. So that's something good, and made for construction work. This looks awesome, to be able to tell the temperature around you. Isn't this great? What a feature. Electrical issue checking, fire rescue aid, animals, health detection and monitoring. You see so many great applications for this phone. And then when scrolling down, people have mentioned some other phones, like there's the Lite phone. It has an e-ink display. But I've heard in the past that it seems a little bit buggy with applications, and maybe it doesn't work that well in practice, but I think it looks cool. I would like to have something like this. So it's like, I think the idea is that to promote like using your phone less, so it's not that attractive and fun to use, but it has Android and all regular apps. But just what I've heard, that it's a little bit difficult to type on and it's a bit buggy. So in practice, it's not that great, what I've heard. But hopefully it gets better, and like this is version 3, so hopefully they work on it and continue to improve on it. Somebody else mentioned this phone, nothing I have heard about before, but it's a 4-inch small phone, they call it here. Maybe that's also like for promoting to do less scrolling on your phone, since it's not that fun and attractive, but it seems kind of handy. Here they have other small phones as well. Looks kind of fun category of phones. And somebody mentioned this one as well. It's also a mini smartphone from our trusted 𝗖𝗢𝗡𝗟. And here was another one that was mentioned, Jellystar, the world's smallest Android 13 smartphone. I don't know if that's true, but for sure it's a small phone. You can see when I hold it. Looks like a toy kinda. In the past, I don't know, was it 20 years ago? The companies were kind of competing in making small phones, but then at some point it reversed, and now they're more competing in making big phones. But if you want to go back how it was like 20 years ago, we have an alternative here, it seems like. Myself, I'm using a Google Pixel 8 Pro phone that I bought like a couple of years ago, I believe. I'm a bit attracted to this whole like dumb phone movement, but at the same time, I think many of them, like if they're running something else than Android, then like I wouldn't be able to use the apps that I need for like parking and banking and public transport and other things like that sadly are only available for Android and iOS. So on one side I find it attractive with the dumb phones, but at the same time, since it's a little bit difficult to use them, I don't know. Yeah, it would be fun to have a dumb phone, but at the same time, like everything is easier with just a regular smartphone. So maybe if you're like thinking about getting a dumb phone to scroll less on your phone, maybe it's better, I think, to just continue to use your regular, good, well-functioning smartphone instead of finding something like stupid like this. Maybe use your well-functioning smartphone and then just train your discipline to use it less. Maybe uninstall the apps that catches your attention a lot, like uninstall Instagram and TikTok and YouTube or whatever you feel is needed to use it less, and maybe train your discipline to not doom scroll your phone so much. Maybe that's better than trying to find some dumb phone and then being a bit disappointed that you cannot pay for parking or whatever with it. So I think that's kind of where I'm leaning. I'm not using my phone that much, I think. And I try to remove as many notifications as possible, and I don't really like social media that much. So I think I'm quite fine with my phone, but it would be more like for a humor reason. It would be fun with one of these phones. But when I Google a little bit, it seems a little bit difficult to find one that supports Lineage OS well. So I don't think I would want to like buy a Chinese phone from Alibaba and then you continue to use their version of Android. I think I would want to use Lineage OS or something similar in that case, some more open ROM that I can trust and that will get updated in the future. So I'm not locked into some weird Android version from China, but I think I would want Lineage OS or something else that I trust. It just seems like with this like cat construction phone, the flip phone that I thought was called, there are people who have kind of tried to make some custom ROM for it, but then maybe like the second display doesn't work. So like the support is maybe not the best when using these less used phones and then trying to find some custom ROM for it. Maybe it's not the biggest community who supports that. So that's a little bit of a disadvantage with that. And as I said, that's kind of why I'm leaning to just continue to use my Google Pixel 8 Pro phone. When I bought it, it was kind of because Google then had changed their policy with the feature updates. I think it's like 5 years of feature updates maybe, and maybe 7 years of security updates, something like that. At least when I looked at it, it was very good compared to the competitors. Many of Android phone manufacturers, they abandon their phones after like 2 years only. So that's what I've been disappointed with in the past, and that's why I went with my phone. And I think maybe it's better to just train your discipline a little bit, and instead of just buying and throwing your phone, maybe it's better to just continue to use your phone that you already have. So when I bought my phone like a couple of years ago, that was with the intention to continue to use it for a few years. So I don't think I want to abandon it already. But I do consider installing Graphene OS, but it's just a bit of a hassle to uninstall and reinstall it and losing everything and then need to copy things over and with some like two-factor applications that are a bit difficult to move over. So it's a little bit of a project. So that's why I'm a bit hesitant to do it. And since I don't care that much about my phone, maybe it can just continue to run whatever it's running. And I would like it to be Graphene OS, but I don't know if for me, if it's really worth the effort to do it. Maybe someday, but I'm kind of busy and I have so much going on in my life, and reinstalling my phone, maybe it's not the top priority. But that was everything for today. Please let me know in the comments. Do you have any of these more fun alternative Android phones? It would be fun to hear what you recommend. And we will see each other another time. Bye bye!